The first part involves the concept of how the sockets are being registered to the server. And the way it works is whenever we connect to our local host, because this is not by any means published, so if we connect to the local host, what's going to happen is, if we take a look at our code, here I created a socket clients object, and the reason why is because I want to keep track of how many sockets, or how many I wouldn't say players, but people, or how many people are connecting to the application. And from there, maybe later on, I can register, or I can take notice of the status of their movements, the things that they did, or the things that they're trying to somehow access to the server. And what I did here is, whenever a socket or a client connects, I would wish to register that client into this library. And like I said, the reason why is because I want to keep track of their movements. So in any circumstance that that socket or that client disconnects, say for example, if we open another browser and I connect to our localhost server, you can see here that our first client, a new person or a new socket, has connected. And because I'm keeping track of them in an object, whenever this client disconnects, let's say for example, this person maybe is disconnected because he's having a bad time with his ISP, or internet service provider. So when he disconnects, you can see here that the character which spawned here, which is the another cat, has now disappeared. And because of that, I registered him, or that person, into this socket clients library. Whenever that person disconnect, I can simply delete him on the client, or on the socket clients unit, or on the socket clients object, so that the other what I call this, the other people who are connected, just in case, for example, if there are like 10 people here, if ever that client disconnects, that will be broadcasted, or a message will be emitted to the other people's clients, and signifying that that person has disconnected. I could have made this a little better and probably say a message, or broadcast a message here, but just to show you the basic stuff of how this is working, you can see here that the way I approach this is by creating a library, an object, JavaScript object, and from there we can keep track of whether that socket or client has disconnected. And I'm going to be discussing the movements of this on the next video, but just to give you an idea of how I was able to pull this off, is by creating a basic object, basically a basic object which keeps tracks of the socket or the clients, so that they can be monitored for whatever is happening to their end. Take note, and by disclosure, take note that the things that I'm doing here may not be the best approach to to whatever kind of application that you're working on. In our case, this might turn out to be a social platform or a game. There are a lot of resources out there that you can reference to, but right now what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to pull this off with all the things that I know, and hopefully it can give you like an idea that you can take one step further, so that you can create something out of this stuff that I'm showing you right now.